There are so many opportunities for DCs today to have spectacular practices. More than ever before, people are tired of mindless overconsumption and searching for a more meaningful quality of life, but yet there are so many DCs that have honest practices that don't reflect their true potential, talent, or ability. It's not a simple matter of technique or philosophy or your love for chiropractic. Nobody went through all the effort, the expense, and the time of chiropractic college just to pay the bills and get by. You were at one time excited and ambitious and inspired about the chiropractic message, but slowly and invisibly 4 factors have created a hidden barrier preventing you from expressing your true potential. All DCs say they want to increase their practice, but you can't fix what you can't see. What if you could understand some of these interferences? This is the first step of claiming back the practice of your dreams. Let's look at the 3rd factor that's holding you back. Relationship building. It's one of the most critical abilities you need to develop in order to create a successful practice. Some DCs are awkward, others are too analytical, while some attempt to be friends with their patients. You know when you're around people who make you feel good about yourself. Think about that special person who believed in you when you were growing up. You also know about being around people that seems to be locked in a world with technical data and minutiae, and they can't convey that message to you. Think back to a college professor who would go on and on and on without really saying anything. And so eventually the students will just sit there and being bored and confused. People like to be around and do business with people who make them feel good about themselves and people who think like they do. The unknown scares most people, and so they avoid it. By identifying your beliefs, you are naturally more accepted by people who think like you. What about people who don't know about chiropractic? Uh-oh. Now you have to form a relationship with a non-believer. You must close the gap from what they know about health, which is almost nothing, to what you know about health. The trick is to do so in such a way that doesn't offend their beliefs. A surefire way to know if you've offended their ego is by their behavior. You end up with patient dropouts, low new patient numbers, and you are forced to negotiate. Your patients are often saying excuses like, "I'll have to ask my spouse," or "I just can't afford it." They're responding to you with resistance and doubt. Beliefs drive people's behavior. People don't like to change their beliefs. You must develop the skill to enter relationships with all types of people. It's not a simple matter of charisma, charm, or the gift of gab. It's an actual developed skill that most people don't possess. You would think that people would be okay with change, even when it's good for them, but most people will resist change at all costs. When you learn how to reposition their beliefs, you will see the impossible become possible. You start seeing more referrals, patients following through with your recommendations and bringing their kids in, and some patients will even start paying with cash. You don't really change their beliefs, you just attract people who are open-minded enough to embrace new concepts. Now add the 4 ingredients of patient education, communication skills, relationship building, and boundaries to the beliefs of the practice member, and presto, a repositioned new advocate of chiropractic. Think of all the miracles you've witnessed in your office and ask, where are the people? Did they embrace a chiropractic as a lifestyle for them and their family, or did they just take that miracle and run? You know the answer to that. Quite simply, it's how you make your patients feel. Do they feel like you have their backs and have their best interests at heart? Are you using force with sales tactics and closing techniques because you don't have this ability and you aren't allowing them to make an informed decision? Without making a relationship of trust with your patients, they have a secret mission. Get rid of you as soon as possible. You are expendable. They will nod their head obediently to anything you say about x-rays, adjusting technique, or how great chiropractic is, but they will do this to get one thing: pain relief. Relationships are invisible, yet they are stronger than steel. There are ways of developing your relationship skills. When they are in place, they make the impossible possible. You go from ignorance and resistance to understanding and cooperation. Relationships are the key.